Today's video is going to be a bit different. I know everybody is commenting on this, but I think everybody needs to comment on this. This is a world issue. How did Trump get to be president? One of the things that you hear repeatedly is that he's referred to as a narcissist, and that's the thing I want to voice, because it's only recently that I have discovered what narcissists really are. I've always thought they were just people that were a bit in love with themselves, and my first introduction to the word narcissist was the Salvador Dali painting of Narcissus in Metamorphosis, and I saw that painting before I heard about the fable of Narcissus. It was only a few years ago when I was running into some problems with a few different people I was working with, and I'm a very logical person, so if there are any issues I tend to work through them very logically. I think we need to resolve this, and I think in kind of flow diagrams, and everything that I try to do to resolve these things with these 2 or 3 people just didn't work. And even in a team with one of these people, we were trying to resolve issues and everything was just completely illogical. You think you got to the crux of the issue and how you were going to resolve it, and then something else would come from left field and you think, what on earth is going on? And bizarrely, it was when I was on a trip to France with some Brazilians, which is also bizarre, and we were talking with our host. A Brazilian friend and I were staying with some French hosts, and we were talking about some situation that they'd come across that they were like really shocked about in terms of some things that were going on in their city. And she was saying how surprised she was that this person that she really admired was involved in it. And then we chatted, and then we went to bed, and I thought, oh, I wonder who this person is that she's talking about. It was some like well-known reporter and broadcaster. So I googled it and a video came up, and it didn't actually refer to this person, but it was all in French, and this woman was chatting away and kept talking about manipulative personalities, and I really got the gist of what she was saying. I'm pretty fluent in French, but I thought, well, it's ringing all these bells. I'd like to find some English videos talking about this. So I googled manipulative personalities in English, and some really interesting videos came up, and there was one guy that was being interviewed about a book that he'd written, and his name's George K. Simon, and the book is In Sheep's Clothing. So I got the book and I devoured it, and that's when I first got to grips with not just narcissistic personality disorder, but covert narcissism. I don't know if Donald Trump is particularly covert, but the characteristic of covert narcissism is that you're manipulated so much that you believe the person is this wonderful, benevolent being, and it causes you to second guess any qualms that you might have about them and things that they do. And I did quite a bit of other research as well, but this is not really a video about the results of my research. I'm just going to give you some bullet points of what I feel, things that have been really good guidelines for me, and what I think apply to Donald Trump as well. I think the first thing that I really got to grips with was the fact that there are some people who are wired to win. And I had to get to grips with that fact because I'm not wired to win. I'm not a very competitive person, and it doesn't logically sit right with me. And the second thing is that they will do and say anything in order to get what they want. So you can really see that with Donald Trump. A lot of people are just so shocked by the things that he's said, and shocked that people have voted for him in light of things that he said. But a lot of other people are saying, yes, but he doesn't mean any of those things. And that is true. That is what narcissists do. They say things in order to get what they want. So he'll say some things in order to appeal to one group of voters, and other things in order to appeal to another group of voters. And in the end, what he's done is he's sowed the seed so widely that he has won the group of people that he needed to in order to become president. The third point is, why do they never change? Why do narcissists carry on doing what they do? And the reason is because it works. They get exactly what they want by doing all the manipulative things that they do. They're never going to change by you talking to them about them being narcissists. And you've seen it with Donald Trump. He'll deny all these things. And the only time that they will change anything or apologise is when it stops them getting what they want. It's not changing them though. The fourth thing, which seems more in keeping with the whole kind of concept of narcissism, is that they're so wrapped up with themselves that they can't empathise with other people. They actually can't empathise. So people can't understand why he said some things that seem so uncaring. And it's because he hasn't got a sense of how that's going to impact those people. And sometimes it might seem like it, because once things are pointed out to them that people don't like what they say, then they will manipulate it and turn it around to show how benevolent they're being. Yes, but I'm just caring for the people that are here already, whose jobs are in danger by these immigrants, or something like that. And how do people develop narcissistic personality disorders? Well, there are two main reasons that psychologists have identified. One is that from a very early age, they've had to fight to survive. They might have had the person that's supposed to be caring for them and putting them first, really not making them feel safe, not feeling affirmed, and they've got to a place where they thought, I have got to fight for my survival. I don't know Donald Trump, I don't know his history, but I have seen a cartoon that was on The Tonight Show that seems to intimate that that is how he was treated by his father when he was younger. It says it's a true story in the title of the cartoon, but I don't know how true it is. But there's this scene where he's telling his dad what a great time he had at baseball and what a good time he had with his friends, and his dad is saying, but did you win? And I have no time for losers. So usually people with a narcissistic personality disorder have this tremendous fear of losing, this tremendous fear of failing or being wrong. Whereas everybody gets it wrong, everybody loses, everybody fails, but to a narcissist it's an unbearable thought, and they have to win at all costs. Another cause of this narcissistic personality disorder that psychologists have identified is where somebody at an early age has been put on a pedestal too much, and their parent or guardian has treated them like they could do no wrong, that they are just absolutely the best, and being brought up in that unrealistic atmosphere also seems to damage that empathy thing. I don't think that is the thing to do with Donald Trump, but as I say, I'm not here to diagnose Donald Trump. I don't know him, I haven't done any research on his background. I'm just saying what my gut instincts are. I'm just really talking about things that I've got to grips with in the last few years, really recently, where I've realised that other people are wired differently from me. And I think that's the thing that people are finding so shocking, because they're putting themselves in his shoes and they're imagining their thought processes and they can't compute it. I thought I'd share these few thoughts because it might help you if you're living in the States and you're really struggling with what's happening, either because you can't understand why people have voted for Donald Trump, or you can't understand why people are so angry that people have voted for Donald Trump, because he might come across to you as being this wonderful, benevolent person. And the cool thing is, in politics and in government, you can't work in isolation, so there are going to be lots of checks and balances, and it could be that he turns out to be a very good president. Nevertheless, he has said some crazy things, and certainly for me, where I've been dealing with people that have said and done crazy things, understanding what makes certain people tick has really helped. It's really helped me understand how somebody who thinks differently from me operates, how their mind works. And when I was going through one particularly grueling situation with one person, I was also doing a really cool job in another situation and noticed that another group of people were struggling with somebody else that was behaving in a narcissistic way. And so I chatted to them about it, not mentioning this other person over here, and they simply said, oh, you come across these people all the time in leadership. So that really helped me think, okay, I've just got to get ready for that. I've got to be prepared for people who want to be leaders, who want to be in control, and the different characteristics that you get with these different personality disorders. I hope you found this helpful. I know it's a bit of a different video, but I think everybody needs a voice in this situation. So thanks for listening to mine.